Last year, the Chicago Bears were written off. This year, they're coming for everyone. A young QB ready to break out, a defense that's ready to punish, and a city hungry for payback. The NFC North won't know what hit it. The Chicago Bears remember every loss, and in 2025, everyone is going to pay. But to understand why 2025 is a season of redemption, you have to look back at the nightmare that was 2024. Let's get into it.
Embarrassment. For the Chicago Bears, the 2024 season wasn't just a failure, it was a franchise-defining disaster. It began with the intoxicating hype of a number 1 pick and ended in the cold, bitter reality of a 5-12 record. The season spiraled out of control with a disastrous 10-game losing streak, a skid that saw the team become a weekly punchline. The offense was stagnant, ranking 28th in points per game, and rookie quarterback Caleb Williams was constantly under pressure. Even with elite weapons like DJ Moore, the scheme failed to get the ball in the hands of its playmakers. The dysfunction hit a boiling point after a Thanksgiving Day loss to the Lions, leading to the midseason firing of head coach Matt Eberflus, a move the franchise had never made in its 105-year history. Fans were left with nothing but misery and a familiar sense of dread. The hope that had defined the preseason evaporated, replaced by anger and the painful question, how did it all go so wrong? So, how does a revolution begin? First, you need a new leader. For a true revenge tour, the Bears made a statement with their head coaching hire, targeting the hottest offensive mind on the market, Ben Johnson from their division rival, the Detroit Lions. Hiring the architect behind a top 5 offense wasn't just a good move, it was a coup. A coach like Johnson is known for creativity, accountability, and a demanding style, a culture shock that Chicago desperately needs. The primary mission for the new coach is clear: unlock the immense potential of Caleb Williams. But even a brilliant architect is only as good as his foundation. That's why the next, and arguably most critical, step for general manager Ryan Poles was a complete overhaul of the team's most glaring weakness, the offensive line. The constant pressure on Williams in 2024 was an indictment of the front office's failure to protect its franchise quarterback. A real revenge tour requires ruthless efficiency. Poles delivered, trading for Pro Bowl guard Jonah Jackson and All-Pro guard Joe Thuney, then signing center Drew Dalman in free agency. The message is clear. The days of Caleb Williams running for his life are over. An investment like that transforms the line into the team's biggest strength and forms the bedrock of this revenge tour. To make room, underperforming or overpaid veterans were cut, signaling that mediocrity will no longer be tolerated. This wasn't just roster churn, it was a calculated purge designed to remake the team in a new, tougher image.
We are just getting started, and if you're excited for the Bears in 2025, hit that like and subscribe button. And drop a comment below. Do you think Caleb Williams and the new look offensive line can carry the Bears right back to the top? With the trenches fortified and Caleb Williams protected, the next step in Chicago's revenge tour is clear. Unleash the true offensive power and transform a defense that could finally dominate. Every weapon, every piece of the roster has to be aligned for one mission: to make the Bears a team no opponent could ignore. Now let's break down how the offense and defense were built to do just that.
With the trenches fortified, the focus shifted to unleashing the team's electrifying offensive weapons. In 2024, the talent was there, but the system failed them. Now, with a new offensive vision, the goal is to maximize the Pro Bowl caliber trio of DJ Moore, rookie sensation Rome Odunze, and dynamic running back DeAndre Swift. This trio represents one of the most dangerous skill groups in the entire league, combining Moore's veteran savvy, Odunze's explosive deep threat ability, and Swift's game-breaking speed out of the backfield. After a season of frustration, these are the players chomping at the bit to prove how dominant they can be when used correctly. The offense was further bolstered in the 2025 draft, adding Michigan tight end Colston Loveland in the first round, and Missouri's standout wide receiver Luther Burden III in the second, giving Williams even more firepower. The defense, a unit that often kept the Bears in games while the offense sputtered, also received a philosophical overhaul. New head coach Ben Johnson brought in veteran defensive coordinator Dennis Allen to instill an aggressive, punishing mindset. The front office backed him with key acquisitions, signing dominant veteran defensive tackle Grady Jarrett and edge rusher Dayo Odeyingbo. These new pieces join a core of established stars, including Pro Bowl cornerback Jaylon Johnson and nickel corner Kyler Gordon, and were reinforced with draft picks like Texas A&M defensive tackle Shamar Turner to give Allen all the tools needed to build a formidable unit. A defense capable of not just supporting the offense but dominating games on its own is the final piece of the puzzle. A revenge tour is only as good as its list of targets, and the 2025 schedule provides the ultimate roadmap to settle old scores. The tour has to start with the NFC North. For new head coach Ben Johnson, it's a chance to dominate the division his former team, the Detroit Lions, once ruled, a deeply personal test. The vengeance begins immediately on Monday Night Football in Week 1 with a home opener against the Minnesota Vikings. Then there are the games that define the 2024 collapse. The most circled date on the calendar has to be the Week 6 rematch with the Washington Commanders, again on Monday Night Football. It was Washington that handed the Bears a devastating devastating Hail Mary loss that kicked off their infamous 10-game losing streak. That single play became a symbol of Chicago's collapse, a moment of humiliation replayed endlessly. Returning to that matchup, this time with a chance for redemption, is about more than just a win or a loss. It's about exercising demons. It's about payback. No games will carry more weight than the matchups against the Green Bay Packers. After a heartbreaking loss where a potential game-winning field goal was blocked in 2024, the Week 16 Saturday home game against the Packers in front of the Soldier Field faithful is a must-win. The path won't be easy, with a brutal late-season stretch testing their new identity. That includes a Black Friday road game against the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 13 and a trip to face the formidable San Francisco 49ers on Sunday Night Football in Week 17. For a team built for revenge, there could be no better test.
For the first time in a long time, there's a different feeling in Chicago. The era of being lovable losers must end. The time for accepting morale victories is over. This is a franchise needing to reborn after the disastrous 5-12 season. They have their quarterback Caleb Williams, no longer a wide-eyed rookie, but now a second-year player that now has a brilliant offensive-minded coach and an ironclad wall of protection. They have a devastating trio of weapons with Moore, Odunze, and Swift ready to be unleashed. They have a defense with Pro Bowl talent that now has an aggressive philosophy to match. And most importantly, they have scars from 2024, a 10-game losing streak and the sting of national embarrassment to fuel them every snap of the 2025 season. The pain of last season can't be forgotten. It has to be the motivation. What is your predictions for the Chicago Bears in 2025? Will they be competitive in a tough NFC North? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button as we deep dive more teams that missed the playoffs last year. Thank you for watching. Revenge Round.